welcome to the summary of punches that we've learned in this class, this series of classes of punches in the offensive skills section of the Foundations of Martial Arts course with Mandala Sun here in Portland, Maine. We have gone over the corkscrew punch, the uppercut, the hook punch, the hammer fist, and the back fist. So that's 5 punches that you have added to your arsenal of martial arts techniques. So we've added those to the stances that we learned in the series of classes prior to the punches classes. And in practicing these punches and learning these punches, we've been primarily doing them within the confines of the horse stance, for simplicity's sake. As we drill and move on, we can start adding our punches into our other stances. And so we'll do this summary of punches in that spirit of finding different, working in different stances, rather than going through the punches strictly from the horse stance. But as I want to go ahead and give a proper summary of what we've done, we'll go ahead and do this in the horse stance. So just to start out, we've done the corkscrew punches. So the corkscrew punches start from our hip and end at our solar plexus in front of us, and we can alternate fists going through in a motion like that. And then we have the uppercut, which comes up from our fist, from our hip, just like the corkscrew punch, but it comes up and aims more for the chin of the shadow opponent in front of us. And then we learned the hook punch, which comes at a different angle than the uppercut and the corkscrew punch did. We incorporate a side angle, and this is aiming for the back of the jaw on our shadow opponent. And then we learned the hammer fist, which could be thrown at the temple. And the hammer fist is using the meaty part of our fist as opposed to the front knuckles with our other punches that we were throwing. This again is coming to the side versus the other punches that we threw, which were coming straight on. And we're using a different part of our fist to throw this punch. We're making sure that we're not overextending our arm, same as within the uppercut. We don't want to overextend our arm there as well. And with the effectiveness of the punch, using our elbow to perform a lot of the impact. And then we also learned the back fist, which also is coming on the side. This is a fun little punch because it's coming against expectations, because you're starting on one side, ending up on the other side. And then we can stop. So that are all of the punches that we've learned. Let me go back real quick. The hammer fist, this is at the temple. And then we can also aim for the clavicle at slightly lower position. There, now we will stop. I have covered them all in the horse stance. We've gone through that summary. Let's get to the summary of punches in a more dynamic way, where we can move around. And to help me with that, I will be using this Century Wavemaster Vario. Superb product. I love it. We picked it up here at Mandala Sun when they first came out. I haven't seen them in any other places, so if you currently practice at a studio or school, I highly recommend you ask them to get you one of these bad boys. And I'll show you why as we practice these punches. So we've got the targets here, and we're going to use these targets for where our punches are going to do. So if I'm going to go down in the horse stance, I know I said I wasn't going to be in a horse stance for these, but I will for the sake of this. If I want to come down into this, I can use this target and I can line this up to my solar plexus with my horse stance. I can go into a deeper horse stance if I need to adjust it, raise it up, whatever the case may be. Or if perhaps I wanted to use a different target because I'm too tall or too short for an adjustment to be made here, I can do that. In this case, I'm fine here. And then I can practice throwing my punches here. I can also practice targeting on these sides here for things like my hook. Now, for the sake of practice, I'm not, for the sake of this practice where my targets are right here, I'm not going to worry about that pulling through and hooking. I'm more practicing on the positioning of my punch and bringing it back. And then I can go down to that. I can even pull into my back fist if I want to. Throwing a hammer fist. Bring back the hooks. Whatever you want to do with it. So that would be just from a horse stance position. But if we want to move around, like we can throw, like in this case, I don't have it set up for uppercut, but I can do that very easily. I can, we want the uppercut to come up like that. And I'm going to get up from the horse stance and move around. So we can look at this as kind of points in the body. So if I want to throw an uppercut, this is the head. This person's a little bit taller than me, it looks like. I like, you think of the head and its shape. If I'm gonna throw an uppercut, I wanna be able to have some sort of chin or something to go through. So I need a bit of a lip here. And I can see that there's kind of a lip here. There's a bit of a lip here. I could use that, but I can take these pieces off and move them around. I can flip this over and put it like this. If I wanted to try doing it that way, it's not really gonna work. Actually, I think this is probably the best one for an uppercut here. So I can turn that so I can practice my uppercuts that way. If I wanted to bring it to the side, I can practice my uppercuts that way, just by turning a little bit. Right now, I'm not working with a lot of power. I'm just doing kind of quicker, lighter impacts. If I wanted to do more power with this thing, I put it on the black side, and this is, the padding's different. It's made for harder punches, harder impacts, punches, kicks, whatever it is. So, back to what we're talking about. So, if I want to do a corkscrew punch from a ready stance, we talked about this a little bit in the class, it's not going to be a corkscrew punch and I'm loading up from my hips and coming out this way. I'm going to be standing with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back in my ready stance. And when I throw a punch straight forward with my front foot, yes, I'm still turning my fist over, but it's not coming from the hip, and it's really a different punch. So instead of a corkscrew punch, this is just going to be, from our front foot, going to be considered our jab right now. So that jab can just come straight out like that. Very similar to the corkscrew punch, that target is coming straight out, but the target is now the chin. So we'll go ahead and turn this. We've got a jab for the chin. Jab, jab, jab. Our back fist, that's lined up with our back foot, then becomes our cross. Our cross is coming across our body. Because if our body's here, our fist is back here, it's coming across our body. So it's our cross fist. With this, we can say that's the same. We'll say lower face, chin, chin. We can do a cross right into that. Chin, chin, cross, chin, chin, cross. If we wanted to, we can go ahead and drop down and aim there. So we can just aim low, which is fine, but you're not going to get as much power as you want to as you go up here. So what we want to do in that case is really start that's when we start getting into a little bit of footwork and bending the knees. Well, moving around, and you're gonna be bending your knees as well. But we can just drop our knees and have that same, we're just dropping the plane. And we bring it up back up. So that's 2 punches that you can play with that we've learned along the way with these combinations. And then we can throw those hooks in, and we're in that ready stance. We're not gonna move around right now, we're just gonna play in our space, our feet are planted, and we're minding our weight. So we can throw the hook, 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 hook. I'm a little far away, so maybe if you're feeling comfortable with a stationary stance and you don't want to overextend like that, you can step in if you want to, if you feel comfortable with it, but come back, get in that practice. This is very early in the class. That's more, when we start moving around, that gets more into our defensive series, our next series. But if you want to start playing with that now, feel free to. And these, as I'm playing with the hook here, I feel like that overextension is happening. And I like this better. I think that would be a flatter plane. So what's nice about this is I can just swap it out. So I can take all of this up. And still want that in the middle. Put this down at the bottom. Which doesn't really matter right now. There. So now I've still got my uppercut spot that I can use, and I can turn that if I wanted to do my uppercut straight on instead. I can take this and I've raised it up, so if I still wanted to use the chin, I could still use that as the chin. But if I wanted to turn this into like, I don't know, the nose, if I wanted to raise the target, I could certainly do that as well. And then I can practice my hooks as well. So that was the issue. Now I don't feel like I'm moving in. I may have moved in on my own in any case. And then I can practice my hooks down low. And you just play around with it, and you can move those to any position that you want. But as you play with your punches, start slow. Find where you feel comfortable doing that uppercut. Just do 10, and then figure out what else you want to do. All right. And then you can start playing a Simon game with it, do whatever you want. But these things are great anyway. And if you don't have something like this or a heavy bag with targets on it, you can certainly just make targets. You can paint them on things. If you don't have something that you can hit, like if you hit right impact, you can still practice your punches just by touching. So if you go out to a tree, for example, I've done that, and it actually helps so that you're not trying to put a lot of power into your punch or whatever. But if you just kind of grab at what you're looking at, grab the target, and grab in the hand position that it would be. If it's a back fist, kind of lightly tap whatever it is that you're doing. And like I said, you can paint, put stickers up, put pieces of paper up, whatever it needs to be. But the target is the point. Use those, help you play with your own combinations, and that actually gets into more the third class of the freestyle in this Foundations of Martial Arts course. But we'll see you when you get there, I guess. In any case, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Come on down to Mandala Sound Martial Arts in Portland, Maine. The studio's great, the people are great, and we love to see your smiling faces. So we'll talk to you. See you in the next class. Bye.